My name is Stephanie, and I'm going to be guiding you through a Hatha level 2 practice today that focuses on the front of the body, particularly the quadriceps, the thighs, the hips, and the hip flexors. So for today's practice, you'll need two blocks as well as a blanket or a towel. And that blanket or towel is just kind of extra to have close by and handy, especially if your knees are sensitive. I would definitely suggest having a blanket or a towel. Okay, so grab your blocks and we're gonna begin lying down on our back. So with your blocks with you, go ahead and lie towards the center of your mat, bend your knees, plant your feet, and take a moment just to let your low back settle. And then reach for your two blocks. You're gonna place your two blocks together, so almost like you're putting two puzzle pieces together. They'll be wide and on the lowest setting. So once you have that, you'll slide them under your low back, placing the blocks at the sacrum area. And again, the blocks are wide, so they're supporting the entire band of your back body. Make sure it's not in the curve or the arch of your low back, but it's slightly lower than that. Your sacrum is this little triangular shape towards the base of your spine, the back of your pelvis. And once you have that and feel nice and supported, take a moment to snuggle the shoulder blades underneath you, feeling a lift through the heart. Relax your arms by your sides. Have the palms face up. Relax your fingertips. And as long as it feels comfortable for you, go ahead and close your eyes. As we close the eyes, we make that conscious shift, that transition from whatever was going on a moment ago outside of us before we stepped on our mat to this moment right here, right now. Allowing yourself to physically land on the mat and at the same time, asking your energy to follow. So bringing your entire being, your entire self into the shape, onto your mat, into this experience right now. Take a moment to observe the body. Just doing a little bit of a scan here, noticing if there's sensations present. And observing what they might be without judging or labeling anything as good or bad. Just noticing. And then if you do identify anything that feels like tension or gripping physically, begin to invite in a little more softness and ease. To relax those areas. Feel the outer shell of the body begin to soften. But we want to be careful that we don't droop in the back. We don't release that nice lift and opening we have across the heart. From here, begin to deepen your breath. Start to take some nice, smooth, deep inhales through the nose. And nice, smooth, deep exhales through the nose. Letting your breath be long and deep. And with the hips at this slight incline, we have an opportunity to direct the breath not only into the front of the chest, the belly, the sides of the waist, but also into the back body. So see if you can really expand and breathe in 360 degrees. So all around the torso. And as you exhale, notice the tendency for the body to want to slump a little bit. Keep lifting through your heart. Soften the back of your neck. And begin to just be in this moment with your breath.
Beautiful yogis. Maintaining the pace of your breath. Slowly start to wiggle the tips of your fingers, the tips of your toes. Keep your head exactly as it is so we don't put any pressure on the neck. And without moving your arms, I want you to visualize and imagine that you are bringing your hands together in front of your heart, sealing the palms in a prayer position, Anjali Mudra. And if there is an intention you'd like to work with for today's practice, take a moment to consider what that might be. Thinking about what brought you to your mat and what you hope to gain from this time that we have together. Take a nice full breath in through the nose. And on an exhale, open the mouth and let it go. Good. Release your imaginary arms back by your sides and slowly blink your eyes open, taking in the space. All right, we're going to remain here on our backs with ourselves propped up on the blocks. If you need to re-snuggle and draw the shoulder blades slightly more underneath you, feel free to do so. I want you to feel a lift through your heart. And then from here, let your knees come towards you without rounding your low back, and then extend the legs to the sky. Pause here, have your feet about hip width apart, and relax the feet. So you're not activating, you're not energizing yet. You're just extending the legs skyward. Have your knees aligned over your hips, and don't worry if your shins are slightly forward. For most of us, that'll be the case, especially since we haven't really warmed up the legs too much here. So see if you can keep the knees over the hips, but allow your shins to feel soft as well as your feet. And just be here. Maybe you close your eyes again, feeling the weight of your thigh bones, your femur bones, move down into the hip socket, and allowing your pelvis to be really supported on the blocks beneath you. Deep inhales and deep exhales. A few more cycles here. Notice if there's a desire or a tendency to want to move very quickly. See if you can just be still. If you closed your eyes, blink them open once again, and now go ahead and begin to flex and activate your feet. So as you energize through the feet, the heels extend skyward, the toes spread, evenly pressing up through all four corners of the feet. Breathe into this. Maybe the legs straighten a little more. Maybe not, and that's totally okay. 2 more rounds of breath. Very nice. Keep your left leg straight. Take an inhale, and on an exhale, bend your right knee. Let the heel come towards the buttocks and point your toe. So notice that the knee will often want to come towards your torso. Instead, keep the knees aligned and stacked over your hips. Inhale, straighten the right leg, flex the foot. Exhale, bend the left knee, point the toes. Inhale, straighten left leg and flex. Exhale, bend the right knee and point. Inhale to straighten and flex. Exhale, bend left knee and point. Inhale, straighten and flex. Adding on. Exhale, bend the right knee and point. Pause, keep your collarbones broad, your heart lifted, and find a little bit of stability here in your core. So slightly draw the low belly in to stabilize you as you tap your right toes to the floor. Inhale, bring the knees in line, re-straighten the right leg, flex. Exhale, bend your left knee, point the toes and tap. Inhale, align the knees, straighten the left leg and flex. Exhale, bend the right knee, tap the right toes. Bring the knees in line, straighten the right leg, flex. One more. Exhale, bend the left knee, tap the toes to the floor. Good. Bring your knees in line, re-extend your left leg and flex. Bend your right knee, stamp the foot onto the floor. Externally rotate your left leg in the hip socket so that your knee and your toes point out. Bend your left knee and cross left shin past right thigh. So coming into a figure 4, supported on the blocks. Be mindful here that your belly and your chest doesn't pop up and really broaden here and expand, but contain the low belly slightly. You also don't want to collapse, so there's a fine line. We keep the chest open and lifted, but the navel center is drawing in ever so slightly to support your back. Now you may stay here if you prefer, or without using your hands, but using the muscles, draw your right knee towards you. Relax the right shin and foot, but keep your left foot very active. Send the left knee away from you. Breathe. Can you draw your shoulder blades a little more underneath you? Last 2 cycles. And then slowly set your right foot back to the floor. Uncross your left leg and inhale, reach the left leg skyward. The next time you breathe in, reach your right leg forward. So the legs are opening up like a pair of scissors. Square off your hips. The left hip is going to want to hike a little higher than the right. As you lengthen through your right leg, you might have the leg hovering. Some of you might place the foot onto the floor. Extend out through the inseam of your right leg and find a little inner spiral of your right thigh. So in other words, you want all 5 toes pointing straight up. Breathe here for 3. Breathe for 2. Take 1 more inhale. On an exhale, bend your right knee, place the foot down. Bend your left knee, place the foot down. Really, really nice. Keep the left leg where it is. Allow your right knee to come towards you. Extend the right leg skyward, flex the foot. From the hip socket, externally rotate the right leg. Bend the knee, cross right shin past the left thigh. Level out your hips here so you feel balanced and even on your blocks. You may stay. You don't have to do anything more than this. If you want it, option to pull your left knee towards you without using your hands. Relax your left foot, your left shin, and send the right thigh away from you. Breathe. Good. The next time you exhale, lower your left foot to the mat, uncross your right leg. Inhale, extend the right leg straight up towards the sky. Exhale to stay. The next time you breathe in, reach your left leg straight forward. So think from the hip socket. You're extending, you're lengthening inner thigh, inner knee, inner shin, all the way out through the inner arch of your left foot. Legs are split like a pair of scissors, and your low belly is hugging in, feeling that core support, almost like you're wearing a little corset here. One more round of breath. Good, and then exhale, rebend your left knee, place the foot down, release the right knee, place the foot down. Pause for a moment with both feet evenly grounded. Good, and then press into your heels, lift your hips, reach for your blocks, and slide them out of the way. Just shift them to the side for now. 1 vertebra at a time. Lower your hips all the way to the earth. Once they land, take your arms by your sides. Grab onto the edges of your mat and pull your mat apart, almost like you want to rip it in half. As you do that, drag your knuckles forward so you get some length and traction in your spine. Keeping that, press into your heels, and on an inhale, lift your hips, bridge pose. This doesn't have to be a really huge bridge. We're still warming up the spine here. Feel your inner thighs wrap down, your tailbone lengthen forward, and then exhale, slowly release to the mat. All right, we're gonna do that twice more. Press into your heels. Inhale, hover your hips, lengthen, bridge pose. Exhale, lower, nice and slow, with control to the earth. And last one, inhale, press into the heels, lift the hips. Exhale, lower all the way to the mat. Really nice. Release your hands, relax. Maybe circle out your wrists a bit. Gonna flick your fingers just to let go of that grippiness. Good, and then release your hands, heel toe your feet, mat distance apart, and let your knees knock, releasing the low back, creating a hammock sensation here. You can untip your shoulders a little bit if that feels more comfortable. Lengthen the back of the neck. And then inhale. Exhale, allow your knees to drop over to the right. Inhale, knees through center. Exhale, knees fall to the left. So nice and easy. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, take it to the right. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, bring your knees through center. This time as you exhale and drop them to the right, pause. Notice if that top leg could become a little heavier. And you might pick up your right foot and set it on top of the left thigh. For me, sometimes that pulls a little bit on my knee, so I tend to skip it, but if it would feel good in your body, go for it. And you can try it, you can come out of it if it doesn't feel great. You're never stuck. You can always adjust. Listen to your body. If you do have the right foot stacked on top of the left thigh, set it down. Inhale, bring your knees back up, and exhale, gently let the knees fall to the left. Same option here, you can stay just like this, or pick up your left foot and stack it on top of your right thigh. Choose an option that feels good, that doesn't feel like you're struggling or straining to maintain it. If the foot is stacked, let it go. Inhale, bring both knees back up. Heel toe your feet hip distance apart and stretch your legs forward. Just lengthen everything out. Inhale, take the arms overhead, grow long in both directions. And exhale, gather the knees into your chest, holding onto your shins. Find a little gentle rock side to side. And then we're going to make our way to hands and knees. So you can roll to the side or cross your ankles and rock forward and back a few times. Eventually coming all the way up, and we'll make our way to hands and knees. So if you need a little more support or cushion, you're welcome to place your towel or blanket underneath your knees. And we're going to find some cat-cows. So shoulders aligning over the wrists, fingers active and spreading, tops of the feet down. On an inhale, let your heart pull forward, tailbone lift, gaze, move up. Exhale, press into the earth, round your spine. Inhale, lengthen the heart forward, extend the sternum. Exhale as you press and round into your back. Continue like that on your own, a few cycles. Connecting the movement to the breath. And tapping into your Ujjayi pranayama if you haven't already. So finding a little toning at the back of the throat. The breath becomes more audible, and it's that whisper sound that we listen to, that we come back to time and time again, particularly when the mind wants to wander. Let's take one more cycle of cat-cow. And start to make your way back to neutral, finding a little lift of the low belly, gazing down, back of your neck is long. On an inhale, extend the right leg back, tuck the toes, and spread them wide. So really think about spreading your toes from side to side. Using your hands, find a little shift forward and back, stretching out the hamstring, the calf, the ankle. Good, and then let that go, release the knee, switch sides. Left leg goes back, spread the toes as wide as they'll go from side to side, and just begin to shift, maintaining that subtle lift of the low belly so you don't feel any dumping in your low back. Arms are straight and strong.
Release the left leg and let that go. Good. Grab one of your blocks, so hopefully they're not too far from you. And we're gonna play with something here. So go ahead and tuck your toes. Place the block wide and flat, so as low as it'll go, on top of your calf and snuggle it into the crease behind your knee. Then from here, you're gonna lift the knee to hip height and squeeze the block so your heel is drawn towards your buttocks. Again, lift the low belly and firm your outer left hip in. Look down, try not to collapse your chest either. On an inhale, press the heel up. So we're gonna take little pulses. You don't have to link it with the breath, you're just moving up and down with the foot. Don't let the knee drop too low, keep squeezing. We're contracting the hamstring. Good, and then pause. Start to rotate your thigh bone in the hip socket so that your hip turns open like a dog at a fire hydrant. Again, lift the navel center. See if you can find little circles here, holding on to that block. Sometimes it falls out, that's okay. Circle the other way, you can just reset. Awesome, square off your hips, pointing your knees straight back. Lift the navel, reach your left arm forward. Turn the palm to face the right side of your mat and plug your upper arm bone into the hip socket, or the shoulder socket rather. Breathe, stay long through your spine. Keep lifting your right knee. And then exhale, lower the left hand, lower the right knee. Shift the block to the side, walk your hands forward, tuck the toes if they're not already, and lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. It'll likely feel good to pedal out a bit here, maybe nod and shake the head, just releasing that work we did in the right hamstring for a moment. Good, when you feel properly wiggled out, lower your knees, come back to tabletop, and we'll switch sides. Grab your block, place it flat and wide behind your knee crease. So it's basically resting on your calf muscle. Tuck the toes, and then kick your left heel to your buttocks as you lift the knee to the height of the hip. Draw your belly in and up, firm the right outer hip in towards the midline. And we're gonna find those little pulses, so press up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, hold it here. Rotating at the hip socket, turn your left thigh bone open. Externally rotate the leg. And then maybe you find little tiny circles. I find that tiny circles are a bit easier than the big circles. Circle both directions. Nice, and then square your hips off. Send the knees straight back. Lift your navel center, squeeze your heel towards the block, and reach your right arm forward. Rotating the palm to face the left side of your mat, plug the arm bone into the shoulder socket. Look down. Make sure you're still breathing, you're not holding. And then exhale, release the right hand, release the left knee. Awesome. Shift your block to the side, walk your hands forward, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Again, if there's any movement here that your body needs after that, take it. And then begin to find some stillness in your downward facing dog. Push the mat away from you. Reach the inner thighs back. Relax your head. Steady your breath. Work to balance the length of your inhale with the length of your exhale. And be perfectly content just to be here. The next time you inhale, lift your heels high to the sky, bend your knees, look forward at the bottom of your exhale, step, step, or lightly hop to the front of the mat. Have your feet hip distance for now. Inhale, lengthen your heart. Ardha Uttanasana. So pause. Couple options, hands to shins or fingertips in line with the toe tips. Firm your outer ankles in and spin the inner thighs back. So we've talked about that a few times already. I want you to keep that in mind here. As you exhale, fold in and release. Weight shifts slightly towards the balls of the feet. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen the spine.
Exhale, fold into self, let it go. One more, inhale, reach long from tailbone to sternum. Exhale as you fold and release. Relax your head. Root into the feet, circle your arms, reach your heart forward as you rise all the way to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release your arms by your side, standing at the top of the mat. You can come with the big toes to touch, keep a little sliver of space between your heels. If you'd like a little more space, I tend to prefer a wider stance. You can have your feet hip distance, and that's also good if the back is tender or sore at all. Roll your shoulders back, turn your palms forward, find your mountain pose. On an inhale, reach the arms up, lifting not only through the front of the body, but sides of the waist, back ribs. Exhale, soften the knees, offer the heart as you fold in. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. We were here a moment ago. Exhale, bend your knees. Step your right foot back first, and then your left. Come into plank position, top of a push-up. Shoulders over the wrists, heels above the balls of the feet. Firm your thigh bones a lot. Reach your tailbone long while at the same time extend your heart and your sternum forward. Knees can come down at any time. Shift to the tiptoes. Bend the elbows, hug them in as you meet the earth. Untuck your toes. Stack wrists under the elbows. Press into the palms. Lift the heart, low cobra. Exhale, lower and release. Two more like that. Press into your palms energetically. Drag the wrists back as you extend the sternum forward and up. Exhale, lower and release. Last one. Maybe you lift a little higher. Inhale, coil the heart forward and up. Cobra pose. Exhale, lower and release. Tuck the toes, press to tabletop or plank, and then lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Relax the corners of your eyes. Soften your tongue, your lips. The next time you inhale, lift your heels high to the sky. Bend your knees, look forward. Bottom of your exhale, step, step, or maybe you lightly hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen, come away from the legs. Exhale as you fold and release. Press down to rise up, circle your arms, inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release your arms by your side, Tadasana pose. One more round, inhale, take it up. Exhale, empty the lungs as you fold, building some heat. Inhale, reach the heart forward, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, step left leg, and then right, come into plank. Pause in your plank position, find the work in your belly, and definitely the work in your legs. So as you firm the thighs and reach back through the heels, drag your wrists towards your toes. Notice how that might cause your belly to shake a little bit. Your core is engaging, but your legs are also super, super strong here. Shift to the tiptoes, bend the elbows, and come all the way down. Untuck the toes, find your cobra, maybe up dog if you feel ready, and then lift it back, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Slow it down. Deep inhales and deep exhales. From downward facing dog, On an inhale, lift your right leg up. Lift it from the upper inner thigh so your toes point straight down. Send the left hip crease back. Even out both sides of your waist. So evenly lengthen through the right side and the left side of the waist. On an exhale, shift forward to plank. Pull the knee to the chest. Push the earth away and round your upper back. Inhale, re-extend the right leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, shift forward, hollow the belly, float shoulders over wrists, and pull the knee towards the chest. One more. Inhale, send it back, flex the foot. Exhale, knee towards the chest. Pushing down into the earth so that rounding of the upper back allows you the space to step your foot through. So see if you can step your right foot next to your right thumb, and you can always use your hands to boost the leg up there. Release your left knee to the floor, and before you untuck your left toes, slide the left knee back an extra inch or two. Untuck the left toes. Hands can absolutely be on blocks. Maybe you're using one block like me or two blocks. Press your hips forward. And bring your arms inside of the leg. And you can heel toe your right foot an extra inch or two to the right as well. Let your shoulders soften down your back, broaden your collarbones. Be mindful that your right knee isn't moving ahead of your right ankle. It's evenly stacked. And again, can we be content in these moments that are a little more still? Where do we go? Invite yourself back into this moment, back into your breath. You may stay here, or inhale. On an exhale, turn your gaze past your right shoulder and look towards your left heel. As you do, allow your hips to sway slightly to the left. Inhale, look forward, center your hips. Exhale, gaze past your right shoulder, shift your hips to the left. Two more. Inhale, look forward, center hips. Exhale, gaze past the right shoulder, shift your hips to the left. One more. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, gaze past your right shoulder, shift the hips slightly to the left. And then pause. See if you can hold this. Again, it might be helpful to have your hands on your blocks. Very nice. Inhale, look forward, center your hips. Exhale, shift the hips back, straighten your right leg, flex the foot. Keep your spine long, press your shoulder blades in towards your chest. Inhale, bend your right knee, shift the hips forward. Exhale, pull the hips back. Flex your right foot a lot and lift the ball of the foot away from the mat if you can. Exhale, bend the knee. And then shift the hips back and straighten. One more, bend the right knee, hips forward. And then take the hips back, straighten the leg. Good. The next time you breathe in, rebend your right knee and pause here. Keep your left hand on the block or on the floor and turn your chest to the right. Reach the arm out, finding a twist. Begin to bend your left knee. Remember what it felt like to have that block behind the calf, behind the knee. So imagine you're squeezing into an invisible block, and some of you might be able to take a hold of the foot. So if you can easily grab the foot, pull it towards your buttocks, and at the same time, press the foot into the hand. Turn your chest open. Two more breaths. One more breath. Slowly, without slingshotting, release the back foot and bring your hands to the mat. Very good, guys. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, inhale. Exhale, step left foot outside of the left hand. So your hands are inside of your feet and your feet are a little wider than your hips. Inhale, elongate the spine. Exhale to fold. Turn your toes out, heels in, bend your knees, squat into Malasana. Breathe here. Broaden your collarbones and your chest. Lift your sternum. One more inhale. Exhale, lower the hands, straighten the legs, and parallel the feet. Heel toe the feet hip distance apart. Inhale, halfway lift. Ardha. Exhale to fold in Uttanasana. Press down to rise up. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release your arms by your side, Tadasana. Here we go. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, empty the lungs, hinge from the hips, and fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. On an exhale, you might step back to plank. Some of you will float back, landing in Chaturanga. Move through a vinyasa. So coming into either cobra, some of you up dog, and then lift it back, downward facing dog. Steady your breath. Deep inhale and deep exhale. Allow the back of your neck to lengthen. And just check in with your down dog. This pose often becomes very habitual. We don't really pay attention when we're in it. So notice, observe, be here. From downward facing dog, on an inhale, lift your right leg up, left leg. Lift it to the height of the hip, toes point down. Take a moment once again to even out both sides of your waist. So your right hip crease reaches back. Breathe in. And on an exhale, shift forward to plank. Float shoulders over the wrist. Pull the knee to the chest. Push the floor away around your upper back. Inhale, re-extend your left leg. Press back, three-legged dog. Exhale, shift forward to plank. Knee to chest. One more. Inhale, send it back. Reach long. Lengthen through the inner leg. Exhale, knee to chest. Pull it in and pause. Lift high onto the tiptoes of your right foot. Round your back and step your left foot next to your left thumb. Lower your back knee before you untuck. Slide your right knee back an extra inch or two. And then go ahead, untuck your back toes. Find your block if you've used it on the first side. And bring your hands inside of the left leg. Heel toeing the left foot a little more to the side. Let your hips melt forward. Draw your shoulders down your back and broaden your collarbones. See if you can soften your gaze. The muscles not just around the corners of your eyes, but underneath your eyes. One more round of breath here. And you're welcome to stay exactly as you are. Continue to breathe. If you'd like a little more, take an inhale. And on an exhale, gaze over your left shoulder. Let your eyes turn towards your right foot. And at the same time, shift your hips slightly to the right. Inhale, look forward, recenter your hips. Exhale, gaze past your left shoulder. Shift your hips slightly to the right. Two more. Inhale, look forward, center hips. Exhale, gaze past your left shoulder. Inhale, look forward. Last one, we're gonna hold. Exhale, look over your left shoulder and pause. Hips are drifting any amount to the right. Relax your shoulders. You might even feel a stretch here through the right side of your neck. Good. Inhale, look forward, center your hips. On an exhale, pull the hips back, straighten your left leg. Keep your spine long. That might mean moving your hands or your blocks closer to you. Flex and activate your left foot a lot.
The next time you inhale, rebend the left knee, let the hips shift forward. Exhale, pull the hips back, straighten the left leg, elongate the spine. 2 more. Inhale to bend. Exhale, hips back. 1 more. Inhale to bend. Exhale, pull the hips back. So nice. Inhale, rebend your left knee and pause. Hands can stay on the floor or on a block. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, turn your chest to the left. Reach your left arm to the sky, finding your twist here. Take a breath in. On an exhale, bend your right knee, kick your heel to your bum. Remember that imaginary block, and maybe your hand is able to grab the foot. Pull the heel towards the buttocks, and at the same time, press the foot into the hand as you revolve and turn your heart open. Be mindful that your left knee isn't turning out to the side, so try as best as you can to keep your left knee over your left ankle. 1 more cycle of breath. And then without slingshotting, release the foot if you have it. Release your left hand and look forward. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, inhale. Exhale, step your right foot outside of your right hand. You can shift your block to the side, fold in, release your head, and then turn toes out, heels in, bend the knees, squat low, Malasana pose. Lift the sternum, broaden your collarbones. Exhale, straighten the legs and fold. Parallel your feet, heel toe them hip distance apart. Inhale as you lengthen and extend your spine. Exhale, fold and release. Uttanasana. Press down to rise up, circle your arms. Exhale, draw the hands to the heart. And just take a moment here, standing at the top of your mat, feeling your mountain pose, a sense of steadiness, ease. Notice how still you can be. And then release your arms by your side as you blink your eyes open. Okay, continuing on. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, soften the knees, hinge from the hips, and fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, place the hands. You can step back to plank if you'd like. And you always have an option to move through a vinyasa or lift the hips downward facing dog. So even though, this class isn't necessarily labeled a vinyasa flow class, vinyasas allow us to really open the chest, particularly the back bend portion of it, cobra or up dog. But, if you're not a fan, then skip it. You don't have to do it. We're definitely opening the body in other ways. But sometimes it's nice to add that element in if that's what you enjoy. If not, skip it. From downward facing dog, on an inhale, lift your right leg up. Lift it from the upper inner thigh. So adding on this time, bend your knee, kick your heel towards your buttocks. Again, think about squeezing something behind your thigh. Turn the hip open, stack your hips. As you stack your hips, observe if you can send the left hip crease a little more towards the back of your mat. Relax your head, keep both arms straight. Very nice. Inhale, re-extend the right leg, square off your hips. Just one time, shift forward, pull the knee to the chest, round your upper back, and step your right foot next to your right thumb tip. Pause here. So, you're gonna grab one of your blocks and place it like a tall tower just above your knee. So it's gonna be in the thigh, on your quadricep, but slightly above the knee. So not too far up the thigh. And now I want you to slide your left foot back until your thigh rests on the block. And then pull your heart forward. If the floor feels far, grab your second block for your hands. Breathe here. You may stay if this is enough. If you want more, place your hands to the top of your right thigh.
Draw the navel in, lengthen your tailbone, and keep pressing your thigh bone down into that block. Really, really nice, guys. Square your hips off, steady your gaze. Not a long hold, but an effective opening for the psoas muscle, the hip flexor. If you feel super steady and you want to add the arms, you may. Just be mindful that this doesn't cause pressure or pain in your low back. One more breath. Exhale, release your hands to the floor. Really, really nice. Walk your right foot a couple inches center, spin your back heel flat. Reach for your block and place it inside of your right foot. Right hand to the block, left arm opens, side angle pose. I'm gonna flip around so you guys aren't seeing my back. So we're heel to arch aligned with the right hand on a block inside of the leg. Now sometimes I need to slide my back foot further back and widen the stance. Revolve and turn your right ribs open. Evenly lengthen through both sides of your waist. Relax your jaw. Notice if all of the effort is in your right leg. Can you ask the left leg, your back leg, to participate, to take some of the effort here? On an inhale, press into your feet, rise, warrior two. So you're already set up in the lower half of the body. Relax your shoulders, breathe. Gaze over your right middle finger. Deep inhale. And deep exhale. Couple more here. Notice where you go. Good. On an inhale, rotate your palms, straighten your front leg, and reach the arms to the sky. Keep the front leg straight, your right arm extending, and place your left arm to your left thigh. Slide the hand down the leg, reverse triangle. Nice lateral side body stretch through the right side. Take an inhale, and on an exhale, hinge from your hips. Reach forward, forward, forward with your right hand. Place the hand to the block. Lift the block and shift it outside of your right leg. Take your left arm back up. Revolve your right ribs. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Extend long through the back of your neck. So sometimes we just jut the chin out. Keep the back of the neck in extension. Scoop the right buttocks underneath you and ground down through your legs. If you want more here, you might sweep your left arm over your ear. If you want even more and your body will allow it, reach your right arm forward. Imagine that you're holding on to a big beach ball. Keep turning, turning, turning from the right ribs. Add a soft bend into your right knee. If your right arm is reaching forward, place it towards your shin or the block. Inhale, come back up, bend the right knee, warrior two. Exhale, circle your hands to the floor and pause. Walk your right foot a few inches to the right, place both hands inside of the leg. Set your left knee to the floor, untuck your left toes. If you like, scooting the back knee further away from you for a deeper stretch, you can try that here. Coming into lizard pose. I'm a big fan of blocks, so you might set your forearms on blocks. Deepen your breath. Notice how much your right knee wants to fall out to the right. Firm your right leg into your right arm. Stay heavy through the inner edge, the big toe side of your right foot. And without clawing the mat, soften your eyes. And notice if you can find more length and extension through your spine, through your heart, instead of rounding the back. Deep inhales and deep exhales.
If your forearms are down on blocks, straighten your arms, maybe shift the block to the side. Inhale, and on an exhale, pull the hips back. Once again, straighten your right leg, elongate your spine. Inhale, bend the right knee, and you're just gonna swing it around, come to tabletop. Inhale, heart forward and extends, cow pose. Exhale to press and round. Just two more. Inhale, elongate. Exhale to round. One more. Inhale, reach the heart forward and through. Exhale to round your spine. Come to neutral, walk the hands forward, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Notice your right side, notice your left side. Observing what's there, sensations. Again, without judging. Just notice. Become interested in how the movements, how the breath affects the body, affects our energy. Okay, second side. On an inhale, lift your left leg up, lifted from the upper inner thigh. Bend the knee, kick the heel towards the buttocks. Remember that imaginary block. And then turn the hip open, stacking your hips. Lengthen the right side waist. Keep drawing your left heel towards your bum. Both arms are straight and strong. Head is relaxed. Inhale, re-extend the left leg, square off your hips. On an exhale, glide forward to plank. Hold the knee to the chest, round your back, and step left foot next to the left thumb. Before you lower your back leg, grab your block. Set it on the highest setting, just above your knee. Now for me, my thigh doesn't come down, so I do have to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle the right foot back until the leg rests on the block. And when I say rest, you're not collapsing here. So you're still active. Scissor the legs towards one another, firm the right thigh, and lengthen your heart. You might choose to place your hands on top of the left thigh and lift your chest. If this is too intense, lower back down. So this will create an arch in your low back, a tendency to shift forward because of where that block is placed. Square your hips off. Draw the navel in and find more space and length through your sacrum. Option, if you feel steady and balanced, to reach your arms up. Soften your jaw. Breathe here. And then exhale, lower your hands to the floor. Very nice. Heel toe your left foot center. Spin your back heel flat. Reach for the block. Place it inside of your left foot. Reach your right arm to the sky. Side angle pose. Again, you might have to go a little wider here, shifting your back foot further away from you. We're lining up, front heel to back arch, turning, turning, turning from the left ribs, and asking that left leg to work for us, that right leg to participate, to support the shape, and our breath to steady us. The next time you inhale, press into your feet, rise, warrior two. Relax the shoulders, soften the side of the neck, lift evenly through both waists, both sides, lifting and long. Let your gaze move over your left middle finger. Be here. The next time you inhale, straighten your front leg, reach your arms up, bring your palms to touch. Soften your left knee so you're not completely locked out, and release your right hand to your right thigh. Inhale as you grow taller, lean back, reverse triangle. On an exhale, hinge from the hips, lengthen, 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 hand to shin, or maybe grab your block and place it outside of the foot. Stacking your left shoulder over your left wrist. And again, turn your heart open. Right arm to the sky.
So oftentimes we'll come into a triangle pose and there's this kind of rainbow shape through the top ribs. Think about moving your right rib cage in and lengthening your left rib cage forward. And if you can keep that turn, turn, turn a little bit more towards the right. Option to sweep your right arm over your ear. And if you're feeling extra spicy tonight, you might reach both arms, visualizing that you're holding onto a beach ball. Keep revolving your heart open. Stay for 3. Stay for 2. Take one more cycle of breath. Lower your left hand if it's lifted. Soften your left knee. Inhale, rise, return to warrior 2. Exhale, hands to the earth. Lift your back heel up. Walk your left foot a few inches to the left. Lower your right knee to the mat, and you might slide the knee back a bit further. Untuck the back toes. Coming into your lizard pose with the back knee down for today. So I always put my forearms on blocks for the most part. I find that if my hands or my forearms come to the floor, there's a lot of rounding in my back. Instead, reach your sternum forward and long. Firm your left knee in towards your body. And reach your chest forward without extending and overdoing it in the neck or the chin. 3 more breaths. Maybe you close your eyes. Consider where you can soften your fingertips, your eyelids, your tongue. If your forearms are down, inhale, straighten the arms. And then on an exhale, everyone pull the hips back. Walk the hands closer to you so you can lengthen your spine. Flex your left foot. Inhale, rebend the left knee. Slide the foot back. Find tabletop, blocks to the side. Inhale, heart forward. We lengthen and extend. Exhale as you press and round. 2 more. Inhale, chest forward. Just drawing the breath deep, deep, deep. Exhale to empty out. 1 more. Find a neutral spine. Walk your hands forward. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Just to come back to neutral, to connect to our home base. You can nod and shake your head, maybe stick out your tongue. 1 more cycle of breath. And then exhale, release your knees. So pause here for a moment. You can untuck your toes and sit onto your heels, or if that's too much pressure on your knees, come onto your shins. So I'm going to show you where we're going next. We're going to use both of our blocks. I always tend to lose one of my blocks. So have both of your blocks and place them towards the front of your mat high. So they look like 2 tall towers, and they're a little bit wider than hip distance apart. So in a moment, we're going to step the right foot between the blocks. So you want them a little bit wider than hip distance. We'll bring the hands to the hips, tuck the toes for stability, and then the right foot is going to step forward. Now there's a little shift forward, but not quite as extreme as we've been doing throughout the practice. So your hips are almost stacked over your back knee, but not quite, okay? If balance is an issue, move your blocks closer to you and have your fingertips there. Draw your navel to your spine, lengthen your tailbone. We'll inhale, and on an exhale, we're going to kick the back heel towards the buttocks. Point the toe. Maybe we reach back with one hand. It would be the opposite hand to the leg. Maybe we reach back with both hands. Pulling the heel to the buttocks. As you shift your hips back towards the heel, instead of shifting the hips forward,
you're going to feel a much deeper stretch in the front of the left thigh. Focusing the gaze, broadening the shoulders, drawing the navel back, and lengthening the tailbone. And then we'll slowly release, set the hands down, and let it go. Okay, so we'll do it together. Go slow. If you don't get the foot, it's not a big deal. If you need to use a strap to grab the foot, you can. Oftentimes, we'll teach this pose at a wall, but because, we may not have a wall convenient, we're doing it towards the center of the mat. And this is called King Arthur's pose. I love it. It's a great way to open up the quadriceps, the hip flexors, which we've definitely warmed up. We're ready to go this deep. But as always, take it step by step, moment by moment, and you can always do less or do more. Okay, let's try it. So setting up your blocks like two tall towers. Come onto your shins, tuck your toes. Have your knees about hip distance apart, so they're not all the way together. Draw your low belly in, find length through your tailbone. Almost like you were setting up to do a back bend, to do camel pose, but you're not going back, you're going forward. Step your right foot next to the block, between the blocks, so forward and to the right. Pause here, shift a little forward so you're not directly on the kneecap. If you are feeling pressure or tension, slide a blanket or a towel under the back knee. Take an inhale, and on an exhale, let your heel come towards your butt. For me, it's helpful to have the blocks close to start to find the foot. As you lift your left heel towards your buttocks, maybe you can reach back with your right hand and grab the foot. You're not twisting open, so wrap your right shoulder forward. And maybe you reach back with the left hand. Coil the belly to the spine, lengthen your tailbone, steady your gaze. Breathe here. Instead of leaning forward, lean back. Send your butt to your heel and pull your heel to your butt. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Once you feel steady, breathe. And then on an exhale, maybe you lower one hand, release the foot, lower the other. Very, very nice. Slide your right foot back, reset, wiggle the hips a little side to side, a little right to left. And then when you're ready, we'll take the second side. Tuck the toes, come onto your shins, hands to the hips, feet are hip width apart as well as the knees. Step your left foot forward. So to start, there's a little shift forward, but then we're going to start to move it back. You can shift forward slightly so you're able to reach your blocks. Hips are square, belly in. Bend your back knee, which is now your right knee. Kick your heel towards your bottom. Point the toes, and then start by reaching back with your left hand. Pause. Kick the heel towards the buttocks. Lean the hips back slightly. So instead of forward, again, we press the hips back towards the heel. And then if the body will allow it, and there's no pain, you can add the right hand. Broaden your collarbones. Steady your gaze. Make sure your belly is contained. We talked about wearing a corset earlier. So imagine here that you have that corset action happening. Frontal hip points drawing towards the frontal ribs. Tailbone is long, collarbones are broad. Soften your mouth. Take 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Slowly release your right hand. Release the shin and release the left. Shift it back. Bring both knees down. You can set your blocks to the side. Give the hips a well-deserved wiggle. Good. Walk the hands forward. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. So this is kind of a nice balance to what we did. We shortened the back of the legs a moment ago in that King Arthur pose, and now we're lengthening it. It might feel good in the knee to just kind of lift the right leg, give it a shake, circle out the knee.
And then set the right foot down. You can do the same thing on the left side. Give it a wiggle. And then release it. Very nice. Take an inhale in your downward dog. On an exhale, lower your knees, child's pose. Big toes touch, knees wide, settle in. Release your shoulders, your chest. Relax your upper back, your low back. Feel the weight of your hips settling towards the heels. And come back to your breath. Not a very long hold, but an opportunity for us to rest. Very good. When you feel ready, lift your head, come upright, and let's make our way onto our backs again. Bring your blocks with you. So if you remember how we started practice today, we had the hips elevated on blocks, and we're going to do the same here. And just observe, notice how it feels in this moment after all that work we did. Find the center of your mat, snuggle your shoulders under, grab your blocks, press into your heels, lift your hips, slide both blocks under your sacrum. So remember, we're not in the arch of the low back, we're below that. And then once you find the spot, keep your feet down for now. Tuck the shoulder blades, broaden your heart, lengthen the back of your neck. You might close your eyes. Feel the weight of your pelvis supported by the blocks. Good. And then from here, lift your feet away from the floor, bringing your knees up. On an inhale, extend both legs to the sky. Don't worry about having your legs super stick straight. Let it be soft and easy. You don't have to flex your feet. So the same thing as we did at the very, very beginning. Feeling the thigh bones move down into the hip socket. Maintaining an opening across the heart. Relax your face. Feel your toes soften. The bottoms of the feet relax. The tops of the feet release. Your ankles, shins and calves relaxed. Knees are soft, not locked. Front of the thighs, backs of the thighs, buttocks and hips, heavy and relaxed. Now I want you to bring your awareness to the space around your legs. So you could even visualize a little outline around your legs. And begin to notice what it feels like. Just explore the area outside of yourself. Not very far, let's say a couple inches. And then you're welcome to stay here, or if you want to explore further, open your legs a little bit and just visualize and observe the space around your legs. And then bring your legs a little closer together. And you can open them side to side, top to bottom. So you're feeling into this. You're not using your sense of sight to actually see anything, but you're using your inner sight to feel the space around your body. We tend to be so connected and so tied up to the physical that we can see. The muscles, skin. But our energy, our body, expands outside of that. We're just taking an opportunity here to connect to that. And then when you feel ready, no rush, you're going to bring your legs closer together again, about hip distance. Very slowly bend your knees. Maybe you're still observing the space around your legs as your heels come down to the floor. Press down into your feet. On an inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, slide the blocks to the side and lower yourself all the way down. Once you come down, just pause for a moment. You can place a hand to the heart, a hand to the belly. Very good. Lift your hips up. Scoot them a couple inches to the left side of your mat so that you feel crooked. Extend and reach your right leg forward. Inhale. Exhale, left knee to the chest. Inhale here. Exhale, left knee to the right. Crossing the body, coming into a twist. And something that I've been doing lately that helps facilitate a deeper opening, at least for me, is scooting my shoulders slightly to the right as well, the direction of the leg that's twisting. And allow your left arm to relax out to the side, palm faces up. See if you can reach your top hip crease away from your armpit. And then option to stay here or bend your bottom knee, which is your right leg. Kick your heel towards your buttocks like we've been doing and grab the top of your foot. Grabbing the right foot with the left hand, turn the heart open, breathe, relax your eyes, and don't force the reach of the foot. If it's not happening or you'd like more of a passive twist, then you definitely don't have to do that. It's just an option. Breathe deeply into your left side waist. Good. Release the bottom foot if you have it. Inhale, firm the belly. Come back to center. Bend both knees. Adjust your hips. Scoot the hips a few inches to the right. Extend your left leg forward. Inhale. Exhale, right knee to chest. Inhale. Exhale, right knee to the left. And if it felt comfortable for you and it helped you twist a little deeper, you might snuggle the shoulders to the left as well. Almost like a little inchworm crawling your upper body and your torso to the left. Send the top hip away from you. Let your right arm relax out to the side for now. You can even turn your head in that direction if that feels good. So this is the part of the practice that often when we're pressed for time, we speed through the wind down. But it's so important to balance the effort that we put forth with ease. We don't want to be constantly go, 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 work, work, work. We want to also feel comfortable slowing down, calming the body, the nervous system, finding that harmony, that sense of evenness. If you want to bend your bottom knee and kick your heel to your buttocks, grabbing a hold of the foot with the right hand, go for it. Keep turning the chest open, rooting the right shoulder blade heavy towards the earth. Good. Release the bottom foot if you have it. Inhale, firm the belly, come through center. Exhale, bend both knees and adjust your hips. Slowly roll to your right side and very easily make your way up to seated. I know it's hard to come up after we've been on our backs for a while, but we're just going to do one pose here and then return to our backs. So coming into a forward fold, you're welcome to sit on something, a blanket, a towel, to elevate your hips. And you'll know if your body will benefit from that. If you come up to seated and you find that you're rounding a lot, elevate your hips, sit on something, and then find a little soft bend in the knees. So you're never locked out in the joints. We want to be in the muscles and not in the joints. Press your sit bones towards the earth. Press your heels towards the earth and flex your feet, spread your toes. On an inhale, reach the arms to the sky. On an exhale, hinge from the hips. Reach forward, forward, forward. Elongate the spine, maintaining the length as long as you can, and then place your hands either to the feet or to either side of your feet, to the outside on the floor. Grip your fingertips into the mat and energetically drag your fingers towards you. Reach the sternum and the heart forward. Keep length in your spine. We will have an opportunity to release into this, but just finding the space first. Take one more cycle of breath here. And at the end of your next exhale, let your body drape over your legs. Keeping a little bend in your knees. Relax your forehead. Soften your eyes. Paschimottanasana. The next time you inhale, lift your gaze, re-extend your spine, lengthen your heart. Exhale, come all the way up. Okay, bend your knees, place your hands behind you, and come onto your back. As you lower down onto your back, if you know that you enjoy using props for your Shavasana, get them ready. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you, release your arms by your side. And then extend the right leg forward and the left leg. So feel free to take up space here. You're not confined to the edges of your mat. Let yourself go wide. Relax your eyes. Soften your forehead. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and sigh it out. Feel the muscles lengthen and relax. Feel the weight of your bones move heavier towards the earth. The breath is soft and easy like a whisper. You don't have to shape it or change it, but instead just let the breath breathe you. Giving yourself these final few moments to fully and completely surrender. Final pose, Shavasana.
as you are, allowing yourself to linger in your Shavasana as long as you need. If you feel ready to come back, begin to deepen your breath. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Maybe rock your head a little side to side, or shift your jaw from right to left. And then in your own time, when you feel ready, reach your arms over your head, lengthen through your legs, finding a full body stretch. And then exhale, hug your knees to your heart. Grab a hold of your shins, gentle rock side to side, massaging the low back, and bringing yourself back to your day, your evening. And eventually roll to your right side, pausing here for a moment in the fetal position. So this is an important transition. And it's a moment for us to reflect before we rise, before we return to our day, to our stuff. Observe how you feel. Notice the effects of your practice. And maybe use this as an opportunity to carry some of your efforts and your work with you. Almost like you could plant little seeds from your practice inside of you. And when you feel ready, press down into your left palm and bring yourself up to any comfortable seat. Keeping the eyes closed if you can. Allow your shoulders to draw back, lift through the crown of the head. And then bring the hands together in front of the heart, sealing the palms in Anjali Mudra, a gesture of gratitude. A moment here to acknowledge and honor this practice and the many, many benefits that it offers to us. And thank yourself for showing up, for doing the work. Sometimes that's the hardest part, just getting to the mat. Let's close our practice with a final breath. Inhale as you fill the lungs. On an exhale, bow to your lifted heart. Namaste.